I'm still racking my brain to figure out what that is, to figure out specifically what it is, and I'm... Maybe it's just how I'm looking at it. I've shrunk it smaller, put it in the corner, looked away for a couple minutes, looked back and said if I could figure it out anymore. But I'll get it. I'll get it. And whatever it is, thank you for the surprise, love. I love you. I found out there's another book of poetry that I'd forgotten, and I just absolutely love this. Now We Are Six, A.A. Milne. I may have brought it up before, but I really want to read it now. Oh, hold on. To Anne Darlington, now she is 7, and because she is so special. S-P-E-C-A-S-P-E-S-H-A-L. Special. Let's start. Solitude. I have a house where I go when there's too many people. I have a house where I go where no one can be. I have a house where I go where nobody ever says no. Where no one says anything, so there's no one but me. Oh, wait, have I read much of this? Oh, no I haven't, just those two. I think I am a muffin man. I haven't got a bell. I haven't got the muffin things that muffin people sell. Perhaps I am a postman. No, I think I am a tram. I'm feeling rather funny, and I don't know what I am. But roundabout and roundabout and roundabout I go, all around the table in the nursery. Roundabout and roundabout and roundabout I go. I think I am a traveller escaping from a bear. I think I am an elephant behind another elephant who isn't really there. So round and round and roundabout and roundabout and roundabout and roundabout I go. I think I am a ticket man who's selling tickets, please. I think I am a doctor who's visiting a sneeze. Perhaps I am a nanny who is walking with a pram. I'm feeling rather funny and I don't know what I am. But roundabout and roundabout and roundabout I go, all around the table in the nursery. Roundabout and roundabout and roundabout I go. I think I am a puppy, so I'm hanging out my tongue. I think I am a camel who is looking for a camel who is looking for a camel who is looking for its young. So roundabout and roundabout and roundabout and roundabout and roundabout and roundabout I go. Sneezels. Christopher Robin had weasels and sneezels. They bundled him into his bed. They gave him what goes with a cold in the nose, and for some more cold in the head. They wondered if weasels could turn into measles, if sneezels would turn into mumps. They examined his chest for a rash and the rest of his body for swelling and lumps. They sent for some doctors and sneezels and weasels who'd tell them what ought to be done. All sorts of conditions of famous physicians came hurrying round at a run, and they all made a note of the state of his throat, and they asked if he suffered from thirst. They asked if the weasels came after the sneezels, or if the first weasel came first. They said if you teasel a sneezle or weasel, a measle may easily grow. But humour or pleasel the weasel or sneezle, the measle will certainly go. They expounded the reasons for sneezles and measles, the manner of measles whence new. They said if the freezels in droughts and in breezels, then feasels may even ensue. Christopher Robin got up in the morning and the sneezels had vanished away, and the look in the eye, and his eyes seemed to say to the sky, now how to amuse them today? Binker. Binker, what I call him, is a secret of my own, and Binker is the reason I never feel alone. Playing in the nursery, sitting on the stair, wherever I am busy at, Binker will be there. Oh, Daddy is clever, he's a clever sort of man, and Mummy is the best since all the world began, and Nanny is Nanny, and I call her Nan, but they can't see Binker. Binker is always talking, because I'm teaching him to speak. He sometimes likes to do it in a funny sort of squeak, and sometimes likes to do it in a hoodling sort of roar, and I have to do it for him, because his throat is rather sore. Oh, Daddy is clever, he's a clever sort of man, and Mummy knows all that anybody can, and Nanny is Nanny, and I call her Nan, but they don't know Binker. Binker's brave as lions when we're running in the park, Binker's brave as tigers when we're lying in the dark. Binker's brave as elephants, he never cries, except like other people when the soap gets in his eyes. Oh, Daddy is Daddy, he's a daddy sort of man, and Mummy is Mummy, as anybody can, and Nanny is Nanny, and I call her Nan, but they're not like Binker. Binker isn't greedy, but he does like things to eat, so I have to say to people when they're giving me a sweet, oh, Binker wants a chocolate, so could you give me 2? And then I eat it for him, because his teeth are rather new. Well, I'm very fond of Daddy, but he hasn't time to play, and I'm very fond of Mummy, but she sometimes goes away. And I'm often cross with Nanny when she wants to brush my hair, and Binker's always Binker, and he is certain to be there. Ooh, cherry stones. Tinker, tailor, soldier, sailor, rich man, poor man, ploughboy, thief. And what about the cowboy, policeman, jailer, engine driver, or private chief? What about a postman or a keeper at the zoo? What about the circus man who lets people through? And the man who takes the pennies for the roundabout and swings? Or the man who plays the organ? And the other man who sings? What about a conjurer with rabbits in his pocket? And a rocket man who's always making rockets? Oh, there's such a lot of things to do and such a lot to be. There's always lots of cherries on my little cherry tree. The knight whose armour didn't squeak. Of all the knights in Appledore, the wisest was Sir Thomas Thumb. He multiplied as far as 4, and knew what 9 was taken from. To make 11, he could write a letter to another knight. Oh. No, that doesn't rhyme. No other knight in all the land could do the things which he could do. And only did he understand the way to polish sores, but knew what remedy a knight should seek who in armour who began to squeak. It does rhyme. I just read it wrong. And if he didn't fight too much, it wasn't that he did not care for blips and buffets and such, but felt that it was hardly fair to risk frequent injuries of a brain as delicate as his. His castle, Castle Tom, was set conveniently on a hill, and daily when it wasn't wet, he paced the battlements until some smaller knight who couldn't swim should reach the moat and challenge him. Or sometimes, feeling full of fright, he hurried out to scour the plain, and seeing some approaching knight, he either hurried home again, or hid, and when the foe was past, blew a triumphant trumpet blast. One day when good Sir Thomas Thom was resting in a handy ditch, the noises he was hiding from, though very much the noises which he'd sometimes always hidden from, before, seemed somehow less, or was it more? A trotting horse, the trumpet's blast, the whistling sword, the armour squeak, these had, especially the last, had clattered him by all the week. Was this the same, or was it not? Something was different, but what? Sir Thomas raised a cautious ear and listened as Sir Hugh went by, and suddenly he seemed to hear, or not to hear, the reason why the strange made nicer sounds than other knights who lived around. Sir Thomas watched the way he went. His rage was such he couldn't speak. For years they'd called him down in Kent the knight whose armour didn't squeak. And here now stood another. Now he looked upon another knight whose squeak had gone. He rushed to where the horse was tied and spurred it to a rapid trot. The only fear he felt inside about his enemy was not, how sharp's his sword, how stout his heart, but has he got too long a start? So he was singing hand on hip when something sudden came along and caught him a terrific blip right in the middle of his song. A thunderstorm, he thought, of course, and toppled gently off his horse. Then good Sir Thomas Thom, dismounting with a friendly air, allow me to extract from you the heavy armour that you wear. In times like these the bravest knights may find his armour much too tight. 100 yards or so beyond the scene where Sir Brave Hugh's defeat, Sir Thomas found a useful pond, and carefully not to wet his feet, he brought the armour to the brink and flung it in and watched it sink. So ever after more and more, the men of Kent would proudly speak of Thomas Thom of Appledore, the knight whose armour didn't squeak, whilst Hugh, the knight who gave him best, squeaks just as badly as the rest. And I know I really should read The Mouse and His Child, but how I love these poetries. They're just so much fun. The next one's Buttercup Days, and we'll read it very soon. Maybe I'll alternate. That sounds like a good idea. But given the voracious appetite for these books, it could go rather quickly. My hair's getting really long. It's starting to really show. I kind of like it. It's much... Before it was just sort of long and scraggly, but now it really feels... It's long. You can run your fingers through it. It's soft. It's covering my... It gets into my ears sometimes and I have to shake it out. Oh, I want to play with your hair. It's the softest, prettiest kind. I love you. Sleep well, keep calm, find a llama, carry on. I love you, and I'll be home soon. I can't wait. I hope today went really well at the cycling camp. You always do so well at things. It always blows me away. I miss you. I want to see you right now. I love you, Christy. Sleep well, keep calm, find a llama, carry on. And I'll talk to you very soon. I've got a postcard, I'm just kind of peeking at it. I need to send another one very soon. I love you, Christy. Good night.